We're about to see what they can do with that worm.
Stand by.
CrossFit, I love it here, has the added benefit of having a couple of individual games athletes on their roster. You saw Mitchell Stevenson at the front. Carrie Beamer is his fiance. They're actually getting married in 11 days. But it was funny talking to Carrie Beamer before competition. She was cut as an individual back in 2019. And she said after that, you learn to live in the moment, because she still kind of has PTSD from being cut at the CrossFit Games. The last thing she wants is to get cut again here on the final day.
PTSD from cuts in a competition. We've heard that in the past. When you need to stay in the moment, stay right now, right here in this element, this event.
CrossFit Mayhem leading the way. Tanya handling the pressure well and kind of flying under the radar, if that's possible, yesterday. A 5th, a 1st, and a 6th place finish. I
mean, tremendous finishes. They're moving wonderfully. They're doing exactly what we expected, what everybody's expected them to do. But when it comes to the worm, I always love to watch Mayhem. How many years we've seen worm races, and we've seen just the shifting of positions. And when they get there, that's where I expect to see them shine. You never know what you're going to get here in the programming when you come to the games. I have loved the diversity and just the wide variety of the tests from the team side of things, not all in one movement, because when you're a team that can dominate on the worm and you see it come into so many events, it's evident who's going to win, who did their work for that year. But I love that we haven't seen so much of it, but it matters here.
Taylor Williamson and Chase Hill, they're working on the GHDs with the med ball for Mayhem Freedom. Visit romwad.com/CrossFit and improve your mobility with RomWad. It's the official mobility sponsor of the CrossFit Games since 2016.
It's important to get in sync together, and so here's what the judges are looking for. Really, the med ball just needs a touch there at the foot pad. Here, we're just looking for the athletes to both get over at the same time. They cannot start until both athletes are on the other side. So interesting to note here, Rich pulls the bag up. He sets it there, left it on top of the hay before he jumped over and pulled it across. That's a little safer. Then when you jump over, no risk of landing on the bag.
There is a split here because there's only 3 rounds of these movements. So 2 athletes will do more GHD med ball sit-ups than they do the burpee cheese curd tossovers, and then 2 athletes will do more of the burpee cheese curd tossovers here than they will of the GHD med ball sit-ups. That's all just a strategic choice by each of these teams. I love it in the meantime, hanging in 2nd place here in the heat. Now, above the cut line by 1 point over the team from Porti, Finland. However, Porti struggled in heat number 1, had a 7th place finish in 12 minutes and 48 seconds. So a little bit of pressure comes off of I Love It. The thing is that our side from heat 1 was only 7 points off the cut line. They were much better, came in 2nd in that heat in 11 minutes and 46 seconds. I Love It would like to beat both of those times here to make sure they can keep their weekend alive.
But for I Love It, if they can just keep themselves here close to Mayhem, they know that's going to be good, because Mayhem's going to be one of the top teams to finish this, if not the fastest. So that's a good team to have in your heat to pace off of.
The soon-to-be married couple going to work here as a team. You saw Stevenson and Beamer. That puts Thompson and Stapp currently on the GHD med ball sit-ups. Closing in on the 4-minute mark here as these athletes work over the hay bales, about 4 feet in height.
My 10-year-old son's 4 feet. Hopping over him a few times.
These are Wagner get-overs.
And I think technically around here, people would call that straw. Is that correct, Joel?
I don't know, we're gonna get into like a soda pop discussion.
We're just gonna stick with hay bales and cheese curds.
We are in Madison, Wisconsin. It is a college town, home of the University of Wisconsin, the state capital here in the state of Wisconsin as well. But if you drive 5 minutes outside of Madison, you are going to see a lot of hay. These cheese curds and these hay bales paying homage to a Midwestern competition here at the CrossFit Games. CrossFit Mayhem is your leader on the left side of your screen. I Love It on the right side of your screen. Currently in 2nd place, 3 reps off pace. And the reps being counted are the burpee cheese curd get-overs. That's the number we're tabulating. happening concurrently with the GHD med ball sit-ups. There's CrossFit Oslo, second place currently overall on the leaderboard. Trying to secure their place on the podium. 70 points clear of being on the podium right now. Tanya, it's still remarkable to me that there has never been a European team on the podium. And it's really been an American-dominated teams competition. The last time we had teams was 2019. The top 7 teams were American. 9 top teams in 2018 were American. The top 15 teams in 2017 were American. This year in 2021, it's only the 2 of the top 10. The internationals, the Europeans, the Australians have been phenomenal, although it is Mayhem, the team from Tennessee, that right now is the first to the worm with these 40 hang, clean, and jerks. Not lost in all of the international flair. This is the greatest performance by a team ever in CrossFit Games history as well. CrossFit Mayhem has won almost 95% of the available points to them in this competition. No one has ever been better.
And when it comes to work, the volume they do, the time they spend together, how much effort they've put in, you know, they don't need to talk much about this worm. It's really off a feel. They know what one another are doing.
Bear Complex is the official grip of the CrossFit Games. Visit bearcomplex.com and use CrossFit20 to get 20% off of your order today. CrossFit Mayhem Freedom now well out ahead of the pack. On their second round of 10 worm clean and jerks. They'll have 4 rounds of 10, give them 40 reps total. Meantime, I Love It taking a break at the bottom and switching up their athletes positionally. Tanya, what does that do here?
Yeah, so as the leader, the male athlete in front, taking that 100-pound section, you're the one kind of driving, kind of steering this ship. And it's important, like there's more on you in the front to kind of lead that. So if you can get yourself a little breather, get back in between the other 2 female athletes, it gives you a little bit of a break. So it is important to switch out when you need to, because if you can't keep that tempo up as the one in front, you have to for the best for the team.
That's Mitchell Stevenson in the front, an individual games athlete. He was 32nd back in 2018. He's being the leader right now. You can see the communication as the team struggles a little bit with a couple of reps here on the worm. And look at everybody starting to pass. I Love It now. The good news for the Washington-based team is that they're marching forward as well. But as they're doing it in sync, Mayhem Freedom is moving forward onto their 3rd round, and several other teams are ahead of them here on the round of 20.
So learning to adapt to that new move. The hang is different. There's a lot of chatter going on for I Love It.
I Love It was only 1 point clear of the cut line. Mayhem is currently 174 points in first place. They could finish last in this event and still be in first place. 8 minutes and 12 seconds. I Love It needs to be aware of 11 minutes and 46 seconds. As Rich Froning and Mayhem having absolutely no issues with the worm. This is CrossFit Urban Energy, second place in the event, working right toe-in-toe with Mayhem. Urban Energy is in 8th place overall. They were in 2nd place after the 2nd day of competition. So the work capacity is there and the opportunity to eat up some points and try to find their way back on the podium.
It is, but if they want to beat Mayhem, they're going to need to move quicker, and they're going to need to not put that worm down. Can they hold down?
It's Rich's wife on the left side of your screen.
Hillary's been to competition forever. This is just a staple for her. Coming here, watching your husband, different teams. She's not with the kids right now. Maybe they're out at the park.
Also Chase Hill's cousin, by the way.
Yes.
Chase Hill and Rich Froning are related by marriage on that Mayhem team.
So now, Urban Energy did not put the worm down. That's what I said. They had to do it if they want a chance to get it first. Now their judge's hand is in the air.
So that's just now 4 reps remaining for Urban Energy. The Van Zils and the Manzies with 2 more reps remaining. Mayhem finishes though first, and Rich Froning and company trot across the line just in front of Urban Energy.
Oh, that was Urban Energy, good for you. That was awesome, so impressive. They just ripped out 20 worm clean and jerks, unbroken.
Something that's never been seen at the games
You
before.
don't see that. You don't see that. I wondered if Mayhem was going to do it. I wondered if they just saved and they were going to. I don't know if they knew Urban Energy was that close to them.
In the meantime, here comes I Love It at the bottom of your screen. They're in 5th place right now in the heat. 11:46 is the time that Awaside put forward. Awaside was 7 points behind the cut line. Portee went in 12:48. They were 1 point behind the cut line. So I Love It, as much as it's struggling in this heat, is not necessarily in a ton of trouble yet with the teams chasing it for the cut line. But it needs to be cognizant of the next minute.
And every drop is costly, especially when it's in the middle of your reps.
4 reps remaining here for I Love It. Stevenson and Beamer in the front. Thompson and Stapp in the back. Just a couple more reps remaining. 11:46, again, was that time for Awaside. So even though I Love It had some issues here, I Love It is going to get in well clear of the time that Awaside put forward and help themselves a lot here.
Awaside clear, but you know, I'm just so much more work than it needed to be for them. I Love It. Just every rep, Joel, they were talking. They were waiting for a command, for a cue.
Nordic coming in was in 9th place before the start of this event. They were 48 points above the cut line. And now Nordic will come through. And very close to Awaside. That'll come down to the chip timer. Remember, 11:46 was Awaside's time. You're gonna have to sort out the points table here to figure out who our top 10 teams are moving forward in this competition, with event number 12 looming. Just 2 teams out left on the field. Plus 64, who was in the mix. The 6'4" Army Gold were in 4th place, 22 points behind the podium prior to the start of event 11. That is a devastating finish.
It is. They were in that 3rd place position all day yesterday. We didn't talk about them much, but they were just hovering right there on the line. This isn't good for them.
And just 1 team out remaining on the field. This is CrossFit Resurrection. Team from just north of Toronto, Ontario.
Timing is just off for these guys. So much more work individually when you're not synced up. And you can tell that when the worm bends, when there's dipping. You don't have that tension. Oh, familiar face.
Rory McKernan, former broadcast colleague here at the games. Right up in the face of Taylor Williamson with the camera as Rich Froning's team pulls off another event victory. That's their 27th all-time for Mayhem Freedom.